What's going on, guys? Today I have an exciting game from the Doubles OU Seasonal between my boy Heliosan, aka Daniel, and Stratos, as they're going to lead with some nice and standard teams, nice and healthy genies, and Heliosan's going to have a Charizard Y, immediately going to switch out because the standard set for Landorus T in this meta is, of course, Scarf. Stratos makes a very smart double into his Heatran. First of all, predicting Heliosan obviously not to go for the Earthquake, as he just goes for the U-turn and goes into Sylveon. Interesting switch on a Heatran, but they usually don't. I guess he's not really fearing the Flash Cannon from Stratos, as he does just reveal Substitute, indicating that he may indeed not have Flash Cannon and instead has Earth Power. And this Sylveon is just going to be Calm Minding up. Stratos decides to switch into Amoonguss, maybe panicking a little bit as he just gets met with a taunt from the Thundurus, and taking a huge deal of damage that's just going to be recovered by Regenerator anyway. And Heliosan makes a pretty good play here also, just predicting the Amoonguss to switch out now that it's been taunted, it can't Spore, and he just goes for another Calm Mind. So the Heatran behind the sub is certainly a threat for Heliosan, but so is this Sylveon if it didn't get burned. That's really unfortunate because this Sylveon could have done quite a number to Stratos' team. Like, look how much that Hyper Voice did to Heatran. That's a good amount. But now Psyshock is going to be able to get him down to the point where Heat Wave will indeed knock him out. Burn, really unfortunate. I think he probably could have survived both of those attacks and taken out the Latios, as well as done a hefty amount to Heatran. But you know, that's just Pokemon. So goes for another protective Heatran. Obviously doesn't want to take a hit from this Keldeo, which has been shown to be Life Orb. Heliosan makes another smart U-turn out into his Charizard, and Amoonguss goes for the Rage Powder as he just goes for the safe Secret Sword. He actually goes for the Tailwind, and hold on. The reason he didn't Mega Evolve is obviously because he didn't want Heatran to do too much damage with Heat Wave, and I'm pretty sure. Okay, Heat Wave with a crit did 35 to Charizard, so I am to normal Charizard, so I'm pretty sure that that was a roll on his Keldeo. I think he really wanted to keep that alive for one more turn, and that's why he didn't get the Sun up immediately. But unfortunately, Stratos, being the lucky bastard he is, gets the roll and takes out the Keldeo. But Heliosan now has his Tailwind up, as I think now okay, nope, not yet. He doesn't Mega Evolve quite yet, as he just goes for an Earthquake, doing some damage to Amoonguss. He doesn't need to Mega Evolve to knock it out, and down goes Amoonguss. I guess maybe on the off chance that Stratos doesn't protect to preserve his sub and decides to go for Heat Wave, but now he's in a Mega Evolve. Interestingly, as he switches into Aegislash, very interesting, predicting the Fake Out from the Kangaskhan to that slot. And this is obviously some VGC specially defensive spread Aegislash, because it tanks that Heat Wave under the sun from a Heatran, which it's pretty amazing, as Heliosan's going to get huge damage off of his Charizard right before going down, and now because Tailwind is up, Aegislash will be able to outspeed the Kangaskhan and take it down before it itself goes down. Unfortunately though, even with all of that, Heliosan is still looking in a pretty shaky position because all he has are his Genies, and I believe his Thundurus is indeed a slow one. And so basically at this point, the only hope Daniel has is to first of all break Heatran's sub, which is ironically using the Sun against him at this point, and get a bunch of Rock Slide flinches. So he sends out, they both send out their nice healthy meta Genies, and Landorus T is indeed able to go for the Rock Slide. He does get a flinch on Thundurus, as you'll see later, but it's not going to matter too much because Heatran was behind the sub, and it just KOs Thundurus and brings Landorus down to 4%. Unfortunately, he does not get the flinches he needs. He really didn't need that many. It looked kind of bleak for him, but he actually could have won that with a good number of flinches, which, I mean, that's not too much to ask for in Doubles OU. It's like Rock Slide is like the Scald of doubles, because I think, yeah, Latios was what at oh, I can't see obviously because this is a replay. It was at around half because it took an Icy Wind from a Life Orb Keldeo. But that was the first game. Now the second game is where things get kind of crazy. Stratos sticks with the same team, and Heliosan brings his own Chalk Cancer. and leads out with the Genies, and Stratos once again leads out with the Heatran. Obviously not going to stay in on Landers, as Heliosan does indeed make the... oh wait, no, I thought he went for Earthquake. No, he goes for Rock Slide. I was expecting him... Many people in the stream were expecting him to make a more aggressive play, but he doesn't. He goes for the safe Rock Slide, as now both players are going to switch out. Stratos predicting the Amoonguss to come out as it does, but now Heliosan's going to be able to... the crit didn't matter there because apparently this was a more offensive Thundurus, but he's going to be able to paralyze the Heatran and put Kangaskhan to sleep. So huge advances by Heliosan here as he brings out his own Kangaskhan that's now going to be able to go for the Power Punch on Amoonguss. Even though it's Rocky Helmet, that's pretty huge, especially because Heatran went for Protect and it's paralyzed anyway, so anything can happen with that. So suddenly this Kangaskhan's a threat. And he's probably just going to go for a Return on Amoonguss, maybe expecting him to Rage Powder. And I guess he could have broken Heatran's sub, but he definitely doesn't want to take a Spore from Amoonguss. So that was a good series of plays. Unfortunately, Stratos breaks out of Confusion and breaks out of Paralysis and breaks Heliosan's sub. It seems like his Heatran is a very similar one to Stratos's, and Landers T going for the Earthquake just to get rid of Kangaskhan, since that was the primary threat to the team, and he gets another burn on Landers, so that's so unfortunate because now Rock Slide is really not going to be doing anything. Here, Daniel was counting on a speed tie, winning a speed tie with his with Stratos' Landers T, but as you can see, Stratos switched out anyway. So yes, he goes for a substitute once again gets broken by Earth Power, but this Kangaskhan's asleep, and he really needs Heatran not to move here. He needs Heatran to get up a sub, as finally something goes right for Heliosan, and Heatran flinches, and he's able to get up a sub with his Heatran, and he switches out his own Heatran because he doesn't want to take an Earth Power from Heliosan's Heatran into Latios. That was a pretty safe switch, also expecting Amoonguss to come out, as I guess he was maybe... I really don't know why Latios went for the Dragon Pulse here. I would have just gone for Psyshock. I mean, I guess maybe... yeah, he goes for a Taunt on the Amoonguss, and then he goes for Dragon Pulse. I don't know, maybe that was a misclick, or he was targeting Heatran. I mean, don't Psyshock and Dragon Pulse with Life Orb break the sub? But anyway, Stratos makes an interesting play going for Dragon Pulse there, as finally some hacks for Heliosan once again as he gets the burn on Thundurus, definitely putting that thing on the timer. Even with that though, things are looking pretty bleak for Heliosan. It's 3-5. Stratos has a Kangaskhan that I believe has burned at least one sleep turn. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's burned a sleep turn. And he has his own Landers T in the back, and he has a kind of a bad matchup here. Latios versus Amoonguss. It could definitely take one Psyshock, but even with that, there's no reason to go for Dragon Pulse there, unless I'm missing something. So here he goes into... I guess maybe the Dragon Pulse was sort of to throw him into a false sense of security to get him to switch into Sylveon, and now he goes for Psyshock, and then... now he goes into Sylveon and takes a clean half from Psyshock. So this thing is going to be kind of useless in this game, unfortunately. It could have helped, but really Heatran's going to be the star of the show here, as it's behind the sub. It's Flamethrower, so obviously going to be doing a lot more. And then he reveals the Quick Attack Sylveon. Everybody in the chat, I wish I could show you the chat. This didn't occur to me. Everybody was going nuts. This is on stream. Both the Showdown chat and the Twitch chat alike. Everybody was going crazy over this Quick Attack Pixelate Sylveon. Nobody expected that. And one more threat that was in the way of Heliosan's Heatran is now gone. So things are kind of looking up. I mean, Kangaskhan's still asleep. Sylveon's going to go down here, but I guess it did its job. And here, he gets another burn with his Heatran. And once again, the chat goes wild, as now all he has to do is, well, unfortunately he has Recover, and that's where you kind of realize that the burn actually helped him, because Once this Kangaskhan wakes up, Heliosan cannot put Latios to sleep. And Heatran does not have Flash Cannon. It has its Sub, Flamethrower, and Earth Power. That's what's been revealed so far. So as far as we know, this thing can't touch Latios. So Recover Latios is really setting him back here. But Kangaskhan unfortunately does not wake up, and Heatran is about to get the 2-hit KO with Flamethrower. As Amoonguss survives with a thread by taking Psyshock. And then he goes for the Sunny Day. Wow. So now we actually have a chance here because Heliosan can hit Heatran with Earth Power, and it can hit Latios with Sun Boosted Flamethrower combined with the burn. That might actually it'll do a decent amount to it considering its Life Orb, and who knows if it'll be able to keep up with Recover. But he breaks the substitute with Dragon Pulse, and Heliosan goes for the Earth Power on Heatran, knocking it out. And so this Kangaskhan is still asleep, and Heliosan wants to make sure that it goes down after waking up. Goes for the Fake Out, and this is the turn where Amoonguss goes down. But if Kangaskhan is Power Punch, Daniel can still win. If it's Low Kick, he lost. But judging by Stratos' team, these kind of chalk-looking teams, I admit I'm stealing commentary from the stream. I don't remember who was hosting the stream, but they know a lot more about doubles than I do. They predicted this Kangaskhan to be Power Punch, which Heatran can easily live, and indeed it turns out to be Power Punch. So honestly, he can just go for, since Latios was 100% going for Recover, there was no way that he was attacking here and letting himself go down to Life Orb. So Heliosan, his only play was just flamethrowing the Kangaskhan, so now it's 1v1 versus a Latios, which people were saying in the chat that it was HP Ground. Never showed HP Ground, so for all we know it can't touch the Heatran. That's putting in work here. And oh, I guess I didn't address the misclick earlier. He clicked Sunny Day twice in a row. I kind of mulled over, but that did happen. Later I confirmed with Heliosan that was indeed a misclick, but again, it didn't matter because the hacks on, like, of course, Lucky Stratos, he gets all the hacks in Game 1, some of the hacks in Game 2, and then the one fortunate thing that happens for Heliosan actually ends up helping Stratos in the end because he has Recover, and if he had Knockout and Burned and Heliosan didn't misclick, he could have easily spored him right there, and then game's over by now. But unfortunately that wasn't the case. I mean, because he's burned, the misclick didn't matter because Amoonguss can't really touch Latios. I guess, yeah, they don't run Sludge Bomb, so it flat out could not touch it. And even if it did have Sludge Bomb, it would probably do a clean, like, 15%. But now it's just up to this Heatran taking the next Dragon Pulse or Psyshock and then killing off the Latios combined with Life Orb and burn damage. He goes for the Protect just to get some more lefties recovery, and wait, no. Actually, okay, the stream cut off for me, so this is new to me. That was not the play to make. I think he should have just gone for a Flamethrower again, but yeah, there was one more turn of Sun. Okay, then I guess he couldn't have won this then because Sun ran out, and Heliosan should have attacked here because if there was, I didn't notice there was only one more turn of Sun left, and so yeah, Recover was definitely the play then. I guess he just opted to go for the lefties recovery. So okay, Stratos 100% wins here. Flamethrower is doing nothing. Life Orb plus Burn. Latios easily has HP to spare. Goes with Protect again, just trying to get some lefties recovery, and Dragon Pulse is going to, and of course, just to rub it in, he gets a crit. Didn't matter. That was well within the roll that we saw earlier of 28%. Yeah, well within. Even if we assume that's a high roll, Stratos still easily knocked out Heatran at 22%. Let me see. Let me go back. Did it matter that Heliosan went for Protect, even though it made all the sense in the world that Stratos would go for Recover to stall out that last turn of Sun? If let me do some math. If Flamethrower did what, like 23%, let's say 25 is the max roll, then Oh yeah, then I guess he would have had to go for another recover to keep from dying, and maybe, just maybe, Heliosan could have stalled him out a little bit more to the point where at this point he could have more HP. I don't know. I guess like Stratos could have just spammed. He very well could have just spammed recover until he was at full. So yeah, after Sun ran out, there was no way Heliosan was going to pull his way out of this one. But considering the circumstances, he really pulled himself out of a ditch. The sunny day Amoonguss, the like, what else happened? He had a power-up punch Kangaskhan. He had the Tailwind that gave Aegislash the opportunity to go for Flash Cannon on Kangaskhan. So yeah, all sorts of crazy things, but of course, Stratos gets a little bit lucky in the end. More so in the first game than the second game, but if Heliosan hadn't misclicked and he hadn't gotten the burn that ended up hurting him, then this Latios would have been asleep, and Heliosan could have won, actually, because he would have still been under the sun. Latios wouldn't have been able to recover. He would have had to gotten like a first or second turn wake in order for him to win. But yeah, there you go. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe.